please help us invite welcoming Siddhartha Nangia on stage. He's also our lead sponsor. Siddhartha is the co-founder of Smytten, India's largest product discovery and trial platform, and Smytten Pulse, an AI-powered consumer insights and research solution. And we'd also like to welcome a very familiar face on stage, Mr. Manish Makhijani, independent consultant at Positron Advisors, who has 27 years of global experience in insights and analytics. So please put your hands together.
So we can see that the hall is thinned considerably compared to yesterday. And we have been given a very interesting task of having the session after lunch. So we'll try and keep you awake as much as possible. But we're here today to talk about a very, very interesting and perhaps a little bit controversial topic for this forum as to how non-research companies are redefining the research landscape today.
Yeah.
So typically, traditionally, historically, we've relied on research agencies to give us the consumer information and insights, and the nerds like me look into the methodology and the data and try and find some insights out of that. But the landscape is shifting considerably. And a lot of non-research companies whose mainline business has not been research, but they have lots and lots of insights with them, are coming into the space now. So to have that conversation, I have Siddhartha Nangia, my co-host for the session, or my conversationist today. Siddhartha is a co-founder of Smytten, which is a product trial and discovery platform.
Yep.
So Sid, do you want to tell us something about Smytten and yourself?
Oh, thanks Manish, thanks Amarasai for this opportunity. I know you would have seen Smytten, we have paid a lot for it, so I'm assuming you've seen Smytten all across in the last 2 days. That was the objective anyway.
Only non-research companies can afford to do
only
that.
non-research companies can do. That was the beginning to say so, by the way. That's the reason I said this. We started as a discovery trial platform that was in 2015-16. The idea from day one was how to help brands reach out to consumers at a significantly lower cost. And we were building this organization. We knew from that itself the data is going to play a significantly bigger role as we go along. And at some point of time, when we reached that stage, we didn't know. But at some point of time, there'll be a situation where the actual transaction would play a significantly bigger role than the claim data. That was the thesis we were working on in the initial days. Glad to let you know today, with 20 million consumers, with 1,300 brand partners, with more than 100 million transactions on the platform already in the last 8 years, I can tell you this today, that the what thesis we had initially is actually been proven correct. And that is where we are at Smytten. Multiple things keep going around when we do this. Why I made the statement of actual transaction versus claim data to give you one of the examples of it, and that's why we are not a traditional research company. We got into it at a later stage, was if a survey is done by any of the, because a lot of brand guys are here and say, which is your best favorite face wash, or which face wash do you buy regularly? We have seen multiple times intrinsically the answer. For example, I'm naming a brand here, let's say Cetaphil is the favorite face wash. But when you actually go back and look at the transaction of that consumer, which is a reality, I'm talking about a real case, the consumer in the last 12 months have bought 8 different face washes. But yeah, at the top of the mind when the survey was on, Cetaphil was the face wash, and hence, if somebody was sitting and analyzing the data of the claim data, they would have taken all decision basis the repeat of Cetaphil. But currently, that's also the reality in this particular case, and hence we say that claim data is not the only one which is going to happen going forward. It is the actual transaction data which is going to play a much bigger role.
Brilliant, Sid. So I have my phone with me so that I can ask you the right questions and keep you on your toes.
Yes.
But that example leads me to think that we've always known companies like Netflix, for example, and Amazon, who have lots and lots of data. But we as brands obviously never get to access that. But you have a lot of data that we can access. So how does that work, and how is that helping you shift the ground from the researcher's feet, so to speak?
Great question, Manish, and that's what Smytten is all about. See, if you think of Amazon or any other platform, they all have their own brands. Purple is currently around 60-70% of its own brand as a revenue. But we took a conscious call from day one not to get into an own brand space at all. The reason of that was so that we can be neutral, number one. Second is we can share all this information right from consumer information to engagement to transaction, every bit of it to brand transparently and live. That is very, very important. Last bit of it, it is speed and accuracy that is going to play a significantly bigger role as we go along. So all of that is available to our brands as a live dashboard once you've given us the samples, and they can do N level of analysis through it, and would love to engage more as you go along in the next whatever is the hours available.
So that's good to hear, but tell me, why should a brand come to you? Should they come to you for letting consumers discover their brand, or should they come to you for insights? Or
Yeah, so
both?
yeah,
What do they come to you for, and why should they come to
So
you?
they come to us for multiple reasons, Manish, here. So one is, yes, discovery for sure, because Intrinsic is a discovery platform on it. But brands also come to us for other reasons, and I'll quote some few examples for you. A brand just few weeks back came to us and said that they have an ad which has to go live in 3 days' time. It was Monday morning they came to us, and the ad had to go live on Wednesday evening.
Right.
They said, okay, out of I have 2 options available. There's a bit of a conflict within the team which ad we should go live with. Can you get back to me with some 2,000 responses with the absolute relevant consumer? Tuesday night, we gave them the response that this is what it is, and the actual ad went live the same what we had told them on Wednesday night.
Right.
That's one of the examples to do.
So agility.
Lately, yeah, agility is one.
At scale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Second is brands also come to us, and which is probably is getting bigger, is what next for us.
Right.
With so many brands, so many SKUs in the market. So we did some studies, and I say, if you ask me here, right, while we started, I don't know if you know for sure, in 2016-17, there used to be some 7,000 SKUs in hair care.
Right.
Today, there are more than 37,000 SKUs across.
Ooh.
So when somebody on a hair care category, what is next for them? We'll tell them hair extensions is the next category. For them. Hair extensions are very interesting. Personally, even I never thought that hair extension can be very much bigger. There is 60% of audience who's looking for hair care. It is not people who have hair extensions. It is not about person who's looking for a problem solving hair.
Right.
It is somebody for a quick and beauty looking product.
Certainly people like you and me need hair extensions for sure.
We'll know for different purposes altogether. So that's the second one. Third is, if you look at sustainability, right? Sustainability is, all of us are game for it. We want to do it. But unfortunate part is, if you tell a customer that will you be able to be ready to pay for sustainability, the answer is no.
Right.
And we did this by on a transaction of a consumer, we said towards the end when I check out, 15 rupees extra for a sustainable packaging. Only 2% people said yes. And when I remit 15 rupees, 100 people said yes.
Right, interesting. So tell me, I mean, these nuggets of insights are very, very interesting.
Yeah.
But from being a company which is a discovery platform to now offering insights, what are the sort of challenges you as an organization face, and how do you sort of do that transition?
So one of the biggest challenges that we face is on the acquisition itself.
Right.
Acquiring the right consumer, because all of you are looking for India is again, there's a difference, right? Gen Z for me is one India, whereas millennial are thousands of India. That's the difference between the two out here. So acquiring consumer, spending money in the right place, that's number one for it. Number two, yes, we spoke a lot in the last 2 days on AI, tech, which is an enabler side of it. What we miss about it, yes, there's a 10-minute delivery today on products.
Right.
But person who's spending so much of money on tech is a very expensive affair. That is when you realize from ideation all the way till execution, by the time the tech actually gets launched, there's something new already in the market.
All right.
And that's scary. You would have signed bills, you have paid heavy money to people.
So can Blinkit not give you 10 minutes delivery of new tech?
Can happen sooner than later on it. So that's the second part of it on it. And third is obviously about sharing all that information in the right way to a brand. What we want to get to at some point of time, I was hearing this morning also people are talking about is, yes, we are sitting on data, but out of 10 researches or output that you get today, almost 2 to 3 are not even taken forward.
Right.
2 or 3 you question a lot. Ultimately 4 or 5 go forward on it. To ensure there's a credibility where we are built in the market, wherein what you have given me ultimately leads to action for sure. That is the intent. There are 3 challenges I would say that we are facing, that we face, will continue to face. We have build the system till here, and we are very sure that from 20 million go to 100 million, and this data will get richer, and brand can use it in a much better way.
So tell me, a lot of it seems to be online.
Yeah.
And we know that e-com has a lot more share of noise
Yes.
than the actual share of purchase. But all of your systems seem to be online. What about offline? Aren't you missing like a big game somewhere?
Yeah, so when we got into this, yes, online was the first thing to get in the space.
Right.
And we knew that all D2C brands will be interested in, but the moment you knock the doors of Unilever and P&Gs and all these guys, which almost 80-85% is an offline business, what was missing for us was the offline data. And that's when we got into the offline space as well.
Okay.
So in the last 12 months, we have got our own exclusive stores in 3 different locations as we speak. And we have integrated data in both online and offline.
Right.
And we're going to add 1 or 2 stores every second week now going forward, so that brands, when they're engaging with us, they not only have online data, but they also have an offline data, and hence the 360 views can be formed.
Right.
In fact, we are also seeing in many places, it is the same consumer who's buying online and offline, with the places where it's a completely different consumer, and their behavior is so different.
Right. Maybe you can advise Dolly on how to integrate different data sources.
Yes, we'll do it.
But finally, what next for you? I mean, this seems quite exciting, but where are you heading? What's next for Smytten and in this space of non-research companies getting into the research space?
So I think we all have to accept and embrace the fact that with online going bigger and bigger, it is going to be a place where everything would be very seamless. Everyone can be, the data analysis, the research part will be getting bigger and bigger for everyone.
Right.
And for that to happen, we all have to credibly share information with the brands and stakeholders in a way which can lead to actionable decisions for it. And that's what we want to be going forward in the online space as well as in the offline space.
Right.
And yes, I would continue to say that I didn't even use the word, this is the only presentation I think in the last 2 days where the word AI has not been used. It's a conscious effort not to use it. Back of the mind is keep telling me AI, 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 AI. So, but that's, all of that would be obviously supported by, it goes without saying it, but this is where we're going to head to.
Good. So fascinating conversation. Thank you for that. We can talk hours and hours on this particular subject, but we have to close the conversation here. But thank you so much, and we look forward to interesting and exciting insights from your platform.
Thank you so much. Right.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.